What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're back with a breakdown for this week's reset coming to Destiny 2 on the 10th of May. Of course, we're going into the second week of Guardian Games, the class battle continues, rewards continue to be available, and there are a few other things to mention on that front. Then we've got the return of Iron Banner for the final time in the season, some important things to note regarding the currencies there, and otherwise our pinnacle drops are renewed. We'll cover the new content rotation for Witch Queen and season content, the Eververse inventory, rewards, and much more in the video. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one and find it useful, and now let's get into it. And starting out, this week's bonus ranks are for the Crucible, so we will get extra rank points active all week long, and the featured playlists are Mayhem, as well as the return of Iron Banner. And for the Iron Banner itself, it'll be like any other that we've had this season, featuring the new weapons, as well as the armor drops, pinnacles, and more. However, this is the final Iron Banner for Season 16, so of course if you want any of the rewards featured at the moment, it's worth jumping in, but Bungie have also warned that we should spend all Iron Banner tokens as they're revamping the reward system and ranking system in Season 17, and that'll mean that the tokens become redundant and are either removed or will serve no purpose. So be sure to turn everything in if you don't want to risk straight up losing them. And we'll see what Bungie have to reveal for the revamped Iron Banner soon. So let us know if you'll be running any Iron Banner this week. And also bear in mind that Trials won't return this weekend as Banner takes its place, but it should be back next weekend as normal. Another quick note for Season 17, but Bungie have announced that Etheric Spiral is going to be taken out of the game, so with the start of Season 17, Etheric Spirals will be deprecated and no longer be available to exchange for other materials or currencies, so players should make sure to exchange their collected Etheric Spirals at the Cryptarch in the tower prior to the launch of Season 17 on May 24th. So just another thing to bear in mind right there. To touch on Vanguard stuff for a moment though, the featured Nightfall this week will be Birthplace of the Vile. Of course, Grandmasters are still available as well, and in terms of the Nightfall weapon rotation, we can't be 100% sure as it isn't as straightforward as previous seasons. Because Bungie introduced Palindrome and Plug 1 sort of halfway through the season, and we're not 100% sure when they'll appear again. But this week we should either see Duty Bound or Palindrome and Plug 1, and I'll update the pinned comment down below once we know which weapon will be the featured drop. Next though for this week, the Guardian Games continues, and Warlocks have absolutely dominated the first week of the event this year, so congratulations Warlocks, and as we go into week 2, no doubt that's going to continue. But in terms of gameplay and rewards, now that we've unlocked the bulk of the event, it kind of just repeats itself this week, so we'll have the training playlist available up until Friday to warm up, followed by the competitive playlist between Friday and Monday, where we can record our high scores. And then in terms of rewards, we can simply continue to unlock them, and Bungie Help said earlier last week that the title SMG will now drop randomly with medallion turn-ins, and the higher medallion, the higher chance of the drop. So of course those are much more farmable than they were last week, and they've added that the Guardian Games playlists will now progress deep sight weapons and levels. Also, since Lost Sectors are popular for Platinum medals, the daily featured Lost Sector on Tuesday will be Vel's Labyrinth in the Cosmodrome. Definitely not the fastest Lost Sector, but still likely to be one of the quickest Platinum medal options that we'll have, so something to bear in mind. Next though for Weekly Reset, the Throne World and our Season of the Risen content will rotate, including the refresh on Pinnacle drops, the featured weekly campaign mission, and the raid rotation, where the encounter challenge this week will be Looping Catalyst, which is Rorke Challenge, and then we have the master version of the raid as well. But for the PsyOps seasonal activity, it'll rotate to the EDZ map variant this week. Then when it comes to seasonal challenges, they've finished rolling out, so if you have any that you want to wrap up in the last couple of weeks of the season, now is the time to dive in and get them done. And moving on, it's time to talk about the Eververse inventory for the week. Of course, we're going to see plenty of Guardian Games items, so initially, for Bright Dust, we have the Victory Lap Exotic Sparrow. That'll be available for 2,500 Bright Dust. We're also going to see the Powerlift emote, which is 700 Bright Dust, a legendary emote right there. And for the Ghost projection, we have the Laurel Wreath projection, which is 1,500 Bright Dust, followed by the featured shader for the week, which as always will be 300 Bright Dust, and it'll be the up for grabs Guardian Games shader. To a few of the exotic items though, and we have the Torchlight Exotic emote. As always for exotic emotes, they're pretty expensive, 3,250 Bright Dust. Then more of the equipable exotics, so we have the hashtag sponsored shell, an exotic ghost right there for the event. Pretty cool one, and that's 2,850 Bright Dust. There's also the Lawnmower Exotic Sparrow, which is 2,500 Bright Dust, and that's yet another Guardian Games item, as well as the Team Spirit Exotic Ship, which is 2,000 Bright Dust this week. And then we have a legendary multiplayer emote, Celebrated and Elevated, Can't see the proper icon for that one, but it's 1250 bright dust. Then the featured weapon ornament will be Triumphant, which is the Guardian Games ornament for Heir Apparent. That one is 1250 bright dust. And finally, at least for the bright dust section, we have the Titan projection, a legendary ghost projection there, which will be 1500 bright dust. However, if you want to see the items that will be available next week, I've got a video breakdown of the schedule for Eververse items in the event. So I'll link that down below, as it may help you to avoid spending silver on items that will then appear for bright dust later on. Final bits of content right here though, and for Dares of Eternity, of course the stuff from 30th Anniversary still drops pinnacle gear, but this week we'll see Rotation 2 for loot drops in Dares of Eternity, which means we'll be able to pick up Braytech suit armor sets from back in Warmind, as well as the old Titan Destination armor sets, which are the Lost Pacific armors. If you're running anything from the Legends tab in the Vault of Glass, the challenge mode this week will be Out of Its Way, which is Templar challenge mode, and if you complete that on Master difficulty, the Fatebringer Time Lost will be the featured drop. And then finally, for Dreaming City, if you're completing Ascendant challenges from back in Forsaken, this week we're going to see Aura Borea in the Strand, and that one's found via Aphelion's Rest in the Strand, so not too difficult to find, but if you're after any of the collectible items and things like that, I'll run some gameplay at the end of the video. And otherwise for today, that is everything that we have to break down in this one. So as always, I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you have, a rating down below really does help us out on the channel. Feel free as well to get subscribed, and I'll keep you posted with a whole bunch more Destiny 2 content, especially as we're getting closer to Season 17. We will be getting a lot of new info shortly, so I'll keep you guys up to date. And otherwise, thank you as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.